Morning. I spent the night in the Land Cruiser up here at Poughkeepsie Gulch and Engineer Mountain intersection, and had a small breakfast with some coffee and packed up and about ready to roll. And it is 6:48 in the morning, and it was a really good night. Had some great neighbors. They fed me Arizona style burritos, and they were so good, made with green chilies and all that. It was really good stuff. So heading up to Engineer Mountain first thing this morning. Give you an idea what it looked like. I'm gonna head up this way, and we'll creep up there and take some pictures, shoot a video, and then move on down to, I guess, Animas Forks or Hurricane and Corkscrew. I don't know yet. So here in about maybe an hour and a half, I'll be on top of Engineer Mountain. I've been climbing now for about 30 minutes. In the first 30 minutes of that, it was really slow go in some really rocky areas, loose, big rocks. And then the road kind of got better. I was averaging about 3 miles an hour back there, and now I picked up the speed a little bit to 4 and 5. We're at 10,000, almost 800 feet. And according to this, we've still got 6.5 miles to go. This is what that first section was like. A lot of rock like this right here. And just real slow go, but we're climbing up here. I don't know what the name of this little gulch area is, canyon, but it is quite spectacular with the sun coming up. You see the sun line creeping down the mountain over there, and I like it that I'm on the shaded side this morning. I don't have all that bright light on me. I saw a deer a while ago. She was walking down the road. I got within about 100 feet of her, and she just walked off to the side. Last night, a buck came running through camp with a big rack. I have no idea what he was thinking, but I was with our neighbors, and they fed me Arizona style green chili beef. One of them has a 5,000 acre ranch, and they grow grass-fed beef. And the old guy Kelly, who's the dad of at least 2 of the guys, he cooked it up and invited me over and said, "Hey, come on, man." So we had some awesome burritos that were just out of sight, and they were Arizona style. Alrighty, so 1 hour in, still have a little over 5 miles to get to Engineer Pass. I came up on a place where I just couldn't get through. The way the truck articulated, it had one tire off all the time on each axle, so there was no grip. It just wasn't happening. And so I ended up taking this alternate route, and it is absolutely rugged, really rugged. So you can see right here, you go up a steep incline. Can you see that? The sun's kind of in our way, and it's like one big obstacle after the other. And look at there. There is a Tesla truck way up here. Well, I know he didn't do what I just did, so maybe the road's getting to be a little easier. So I'm supposed to turn to the right here and zigzag my way back up to the top. But I like the way this road over here looks. I think I'm gonna drive over there. So was originally supposed to go on that road to the right of that mining cabin right there, but there was an obstacle just to the right of it that I could not get up. It was just diagonally crazy. Couldn't get a grip, and I guess I was supposed to go up that way and find my way up to the pass, but instead it looks like I've got this, and it's another 3/10 of a mile longer, but that Tesla truck's in front of me, and I'm assuming that whatever he can do, I can do. So after getting turned around, my GPS kept wanting me to go and take the most difficult route, so it was routing me through all these obstacles. Turns out when I came up to this intersection earlier, I should have just kept going straight. I mean, turn right. Instead, I turned left, and it was going to route me right back through the same stuff that I'd already been to. So I think this is going to be the easier route. We're on County Road 2, and we're down to 4.6 miles. So I've been at it now for an hour and a half, and my goal is to make Engineer Mountain, I was hoping within 2 hours of 6:45 when I got started, but I think it's more going to be like 2.5 hours. But creeping along good now, and I think we're headed in the right direction. I felt like I should video this. It just looks like an alpine meadow. I keep looking for that silhouette of a bull elk on the horizon, but haven't seen any animals other than a few birds and about 5 or 6 deer on the way up. But once I got above the tree line, I haven't seen anything. But it's pretty spectacular here. All right, finally got somewhere. This is the intersection. Oh, there's ice on the ground. Looks like the water last night froze. It's running down the road. Engineer Pass to the left. And you can go to Lake City that way, or Cinnamon Pass to the right, and you can go to Lake City that way. Also, Animas Forks is that way, which is a ghost town, mining ghost town. And here's a road I just came up. It says Ouray that way, but you gotta be prepared to go that way. That's a pretty rocky, tough spot. As you can see, my Land Cruiser's still in one piece. I guess we're gonna head on up the Engineer Pass. I think what I want to do after that is I want to go down to Animas Forks and maybe into Silverton, get some internet service, check in with the peeps. Well, 2 hours in, and I've still got 1.3 miles to go. But this is the scenery that I'm looking at, and it is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, one thing I've learned actually on this trip is sometimes it's better just to confront the problems head on, and don't just look for an easy bypass. Sometimes it's easier just to confront it. You know, you prepare yourself in life, and you have all these tools and resources and connections, and then we think, oh, I'm going to try to do a shortcut. Well, sometimes that shortcut ends up really hurting you, and you end up having to back up and try again. Why not just confront them head on? You've got the tools, you've been prepared, so just do it. Closing in on the last half mile, and I'm not gonna lie, this last half mile that I just finished has been steep and rocky, and the altitude, I mean, you turn your head real fast and you get lightheaded and it plays tricks on you. I wish I'd set up the incline thing on my GPS, because there's been places where it felt like I was going up 45 degrees, and like if something broke and you had to roll backwards, you'd just roll off of this steep side here and it'd be over. But I'm just creeping along here. Hadn't seen anybody this morning. Woo! Look at that view. I think that's the view out towards Montrose, where the flatland is. And the wind is absolutely whipping it. Let's see if I can zoom in a little. Wow. Wow, that's all I can see. Now, I don't know, but that looks like not a pass over there on top of that mountain. Let's see if I can point to it right there. There's a road or a trail going up to it. I'm not going that way, not unless I have to. Looks like there's an avalanche blocking the road anyway. So I'll just creep on this last half mile and get to the pass. It's been an incredible morning. It is 9 o'clock, so I've been at it for 2 hours and 15 minutes and got at least another 15 minutes to go. And there she is. There is 3 motorcycle guys there. Only folks I've seen other than the Tesla guy this whole morning. Oh, there's somebody down there on a side-by-side coming up from the Lake City side. They actually are pretty well suited for these bumpy roads. They can just absorb it with no problem. So this says mile 18. I have no idea where that's 18 miles from, but you see them, they're blasting up the hill. The road looks a lot smoother on that side though. I'll give them credit for that. Looks like the guys are mounting up. I'll have time for a photo shoot right by the sign. There's an American flag up this morning celebrating America's 250th anniversary, and somebody feels patriotic up here. It's been said that fewer than 1% of the people in America will come up here and experience this. And I believe it. Wasn't easy getting here. And the conditions up here are pretty rough. I bet the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour and the temperature's gotta be in the 40s. Feels like the wind chill is 25. But in order to experience what the 1% experience, you got to do what the 1% do. It just doesn't happen. You got to do it. I'm headed back down to the intersection where it says Animas Fort, Cinnamon Pass, and then I'm going to decide where to go from there. Pretty windy up here. There's still a little bit of snow right there. It's a pretty awesome place here. But but you got to earn it to get here. It's not easy. All right, so I'm back down here at the intersection where Engineer Pass is up that way, and Animas Forks and Cinnamon Pass is down that way. It's about 10 o'clock. Left camp this morning at 6:45, which was at the intersection of Poughkeepsie Gulch and Engineer Mountain Road. Great campsite right on the stream and near a waterfall. So it took 4 hours, is that right? Basically 7 to 10, no, 3 hours to get up here, climb Engineer Mountain up to the pass, and come back down to this intersection. I think I'm going to go on down to Animas Forks now, check it out, and then go into Silverton so I can maybe pick up some fuel and get on the internet, make some phone calls. Let's see how long that takes. It's 10 o'clock right now. All right, headed to Animas Forks. It says it's 3.3 miles. Going in this direction. Looks like the road conditions are a lot better. We'll see how long it takes. Not even a half mile down the road, and there is a mine. Looks like you can actually go into a little bit, and just right over that little rise where the road goes, there's a little pond. But I don't care about checking it out, but that's a little building that goes with it. Could have been the explosives building back in the day, who knows. Thought that was interesting. That's from the intersection up there at Engineer and Cinnamon Pass. So I'm a little less than 2 miles away from Animas Forks, 11,473 foot elevation. And if this doesn't look like something you'd see in Switzerland, I don't know what would. And what's cool is that up on that hill up there, right there, there is some kind of a little shed. And I don't even know how you get there. But you can tell the mining activity around here is a lot less than like that between Silverton and Ouray. I guess this is just more remote. But there's an old mine down there. You can see some of the ruins. Maybe. But just creeping along here. I figure I'll be there in about maybe 25 minutes, 20 minutes. I just saw this valley though through here, and it's just beautiful. So I'm about 1.4 miles from Animas Forks, and you can actually see where the river, two forks of it, one of them goes up on that far canyon and one of them goes up right down below us, and you can see the buildings coming into view. Apparently it's a big historical thing, and it's accessible from Silverton pretty easily. So definitely gonna go down there and check it out. Wonder what the building that's like half buried right there in the middle of my screen, wonder what that's all about. So we'll go down and check it out. Might have a snack. But it is about 10:25, so we'll be down there at 10:30. So that's about a 30-minute ride from the intersection up there. Engineer Pass, Cinnamon Pass. We got another sign down here coming up. Oh yeah. So this is where the quickest way to Cinnamon Pass, if you go to Animas Forks. And the first thing you do is hit this really steep road right here. You creep up it. I just saw a pickup with a camper top go up there, like an old school OBS Chevrolet. I got traffic coming So I'm gonna wait for them, and then I'll head down to Animas Forks. It's kind of a cool place. You can see an old mine up the hill too. So Animas Mine still has about 10 well-preserved buildings and several more that are in various stages of disrepair. Apparently they could mine these steps down there, which is a perspective you can't see unless you're up here. And the mine went up into the Animas River. It forks up that way. You can still see maybe some lines up that way. The road here is pretty rocky and slow, but I've only got a mile to go. 0.2 miles, I mean. So I'm here. Sorry about that glitch. So I'm leaving Animas Forks, gonna head on into Silverton. I didn't spend much time here. It says it's 13 miles. It's about 10:45 here. So I'm gonna see how long it takes to get back into town. They said you could drive your mom's Subaru up here, but I'm looking at this like this is still a bit rocky and rutted out and all that. I don't know. I'd like to be able to get up to at least 20 miles an hour, but I don't know. That might be too much. All right, so the first 4 miles coming in from Animas Forks to Silverton. The first 4 miles is a rocky shelf road. I was doing good to do 6 miles an hour. It was tough, rough, just more like what was up the hill. And then it turns into a 4-lane smooth gravel road. They've got a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit on it, but you could easily do about 45. I'm 4.2 miles from downtown, and it's going to be smooth sailing all the way. So pretty happy about the road conditions now. Right up there is Cunningham Gulch, and that's where Jake and I camped with our first night in Colorado, and it was that big 200-foot waterfall beside us, beaver pond on the other side, and a silver mine right up the way. So almost had the whole thing to ourselves too. It was great. All right, made it to Silverton from Animas Forks, and it took about, well, right now it's 11:40, and I've already pumped gas, so it took a little minute and a half to get here, but gonna get some provisions and head back out. Just left Silverton. It's about 12:40 local time. Typed in American Basin. It says it's 16 miles away. Go back to Animas Forks and take a ride up to Cinnamon Pass, and then American Basin's right past that. So looking forward to that, and hopefully I'll find me a good campsite right there as early as it is. I'm hoping to set up camp and hopefully block the wind, have a good time. So we'll see how long it takes. I know it's going to take at least 45 minutes to get to Animas Forks. So we'll see. I'll have about 7 or 8 miles after that to finish up the trip. So I'm driving up to Animas Forks to make the turn up to Cinnamon Pass to get over to American Basin. And this is pretty much what the road is like. It's pretty rocky, shelf road. You can see all the debris down there from avalanches down in the creek. And this coming up on a mine up here. I was studying that on the way down, and that mine has the road on the other side of the creek, and it had a bridge, not just this mine, but another one too. And avalanches have crushed, well, they have overrun the road over there so that they're inaccessible by car anymore. And one thing that's kind of interesting is there is a looks like a Chevrolet C50 flatbed 1.5-ton truck over there, and it has pipe loaded on the back of it. And I'd be curious to know how long that truck has been sitting over there, pretty much in a situation where they can't get back, can't get it back. So kind of interesting. I think that's it on the horizon, not the first mine, but the second one up there. It's pretty interesting. There's some snow down there, hadn't melted yet. That white patch right there by the creek. If you look beyond that, you see that tan dirt oil even right here on the right. That avalanche, it smoked that road. So it's going to take like a bulldozer to come and basically push the dirt that came down the mountain, push it off the side and create another shelf road. Something you don't think about back east. We don't have avalanches that cover up our roads. So there's at least 3 avalanches or 4 that really wiped out that road to the mine over there. And what's interesting is it looks like there had been some work over there at some point, like they were trying to reopen it. There's some kind of equipment over there at the bottom of that building. It looks like it was brought in for something. I'll show you a glimpse of the truck here in a second. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a big fan or something. It's over there at the front of that bank, and it's kind of interesting to me, like what happened to where, well, why wouldn't it worth clearing that road out so they could get to it? Oh, that's interesting. There's another cabin up there on the hill. I see the rooftop. Either that or a mining building of some sort. There's the truck right there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. It's pretty rocky right here. Bouncing around. But that's the old truck sitting right there. Alright. 1 mile away from the turnoff to Cinnamon Pass, you see that big yellow streak coming out of the side of the mountain. That's one of the mines right there at Enemas Fort, little town. And you can see another one down below it to the right. I think I'm turning off before I get there. These folks over here, they got an epic campsite. There's 2 campsites, I think, down there. And that guy brought his pop-up camper all the way up this raggedy road. And I think that's another campsite where is that a Jeep? I can't tell. There was a Range Rover out here earlier that was equipped, and I can't tell if that's it or not. But either way, they got a nice setup right there. So I'm climbing back up what I came down earlier. Oh, by the way, off to the left there, that's the way up to California Gulch. Probably going to do that tomorrow. But the turnoff to go up that real steep road up to Cinnamon Pass is 0.3 miles. And actually, this is the road I went down earlier to get to the ghost town. So I went down that way and up that road up through there is on the way to California Gulch. Not sure where it goes. I think it goes up to Hurricane Pass and Corkscrew Pass, but I'm not positive. Anyway, you see I'm doing 6 miles an hour. It's been 45 minutes since I left Silverton, and I'm almost to the turnoff to Cinnamon Pass here. It's been slow go for the last 5 miles. Letting these side-by-sides by. They can handle this a lot better than I can. I don't know how they can do it, but it just soaks up these rocks like it's nothing to it. They're hardly even shaking in there. What I've learned out here, I asked a local down in Animas Forks earlier today, I said, how's the road back to town? And he said, oh yeah, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I said, well, I came up Mineral Creek and spent the night down at Poughkeepsie Gulch. And he's like, oh man, that's the roughest road around. But I don't know. I feel like all of them are rough. If somebody out here says, though, a road is rough, better listen, because it is. So I made the turn, and this is a super steep incline right here. And rocky. I mean, there's like, slippery. The rocks are moving around underneath the truck. I'm gripping the steering wheel so tight that it's hurting my fingers. So you just have to creep up stuff like this. Hopefully the road will get better. We're climbing through 11,300 right now, and I think we got to clear 12,000 to get up here. All right, we're up here at 11,800 feet. There's a little series of waterfalls right there. Got a guy waiting for me. Almost to the top of Cinnamon Pass. My guess is cinnamon is the color of the mountain. Just guessing. Something interesting. Right over there is the remains of a mine. We're at 12,000 feet. We're way above the tree line. And somebody thought they could find silver up here. Ain't that something? So I'm almost here at the top, and it dips down into a bowl. And obviously we got to go over there where that little patch of snow is. Still a bumpy ride. And I see what looks like to be the remains. I'm going to stop here. Let's see if I can zoom in. There's a mine up there. A mine right there. A mine right there. And a mine right there. So there's what looks like the remains of 4 mines. We're way over 12,000 feet. Up here at Cinnamon Pass, let me look at the time. I think the time is 2:15. So roughly an hour and a half out of Silverton to make it up here. Some of these peaks out here are 14ers. I don't know which ones. This is definitely isolated. A lot different experience from Engineer Pass from this morning. Not really a long range view out that way. This one is completely surrounded by mountains. You can see down below though where the road goes. We'll be heading down that way next. So where I'm headed to hopefully find a campsite is up that basin right there. That's called American Basin. And then it's 0.2 more miles to go before I turn off up there. So the backside of Cinnamon Pass, I put it in second low range, and for a long ways, and probably went a mile at like 8 or 10 miles an hour. It was a piece of cake. And then it got down to these switchbacks, and if you were in a long vehicle, you'd have to back up 2 or 3 times. What was also cool on the way down is I saw a coyote come down the mountain, and it was at 12,300 feet, and a coyote's running across the tundra, but he was more worried about me than he was worried about finding something to eat. But I know what he's looking for. He's looking for these chipmunks and these marmots, because other than that, there's nothing else up here. So this right here is American Basin. And I see some cars parked up there. I'm hoping they're not going to be camping, because I want to snag a campsite up there. So we are at the entrance to American Basin, and it doesn't look that deep. Maybe 2 miles. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. I'm in American Basin at the trailhead to the trail. It's a big parking lot up here, and there's about 6 or 7 vehicles up here. And the one that I'm really worried about and want to leave is this black Ford right there. It's a level campsite, and it is right on the creek, and we're up at the top of the basin. Here's the creek right here, and that's what I want to hear tonight. Looks like the remains of a mine right there too. I doubt I'll go check it out though. 11,415 feet. That'll be the highest place I've ever camped. It's 5:15 local time in the American Basin. The shadows are starting to get longer. It won't be long. This whole side of the canyon or basin is going to be dark. The sun's got about another hour before it reaches me. I'm hoping that the guy in the black, it's actually a Tundra, I'm hoping that he's going to pack up and roll. It didn't look like he had any camera gear, camping gear. So I'm hoping he went hiking up to Handy's Peak. We got a white truck leaving right there, which is a good thing. But I need that black truck to leave. Oh, there's another one, a gray one. I'm like a stealth camper looking for that campsite. So, anyway, you see them moving up there. It's been a great afternoon here in the basin. You can see my Land Cruiser down there. It's probably 200 yards away. It took a struggle to get up here. There's a little path coming up here on these rocks in the middle of the basin. It provides a little bit of shelter from the wind. Wind's been gusting like 30 miles an hour. So it's a nice quiet place here to kind of soak up a little sun. Just listen to the wind. We got one leaving. It looks like a Jeep coming in, and I'm just hoping that it does not have a rooftop tent. Could be a Bronco. Can't really tell. Yeah, it looks like a Bronco. 4-door. Well, across this stream right here, there's the Black Tundra. Look at that. That's a photo op. Folks in the green Bronco, they're climbing the hill. I can see them up there. The tag on the Tundra says Mountain Girls with a Z. So Colorado tag. It's making me think maybe she belongs here. I don't know. This place is awesome. So while I had time to kill, I thought I'd just come up here and check out this mine. Sucking all the air out of me, I can tell you that. Whatever, 500 feet. I'm trying. Side of this hill. If I'd have waited any longer, it would have been too cold. You can see the path. Somebody else has been up here. Ooh. Now I ain't out of shape or nothing. It's just I'm operating on about 60% oxygen. Whew. Holy smoke. And there she is. A mine. Whew. I got about a 200 beats per minute heart rate, but it's worth it. I've only seen other people do this. So water is coming out of the mine, coming out of the mountain. It stinks. It's got an echo. Well, it might be 6 feet tall, about 7 feet wide. So, whoever, they busted up rock and dirt, and then they pulled it out here. Oh crap, dropped my hat. So they had all that debris inside the mine, and then they brought it out here and just dumped it out. And they kept dumping it out. And I'm guessing they did all this by hand. I mean, there's like 10,000 dump truck loads of debris. Oh, You can see my Land Cruiser from here. Let's zoom in. See if he'll do it. She's trying. I don't really want to forget this place. It's like guarded by this row of mountains in the back. They're keeping watch, protecting it. I'd like to think that was the founding fathers of like America, but I'll tell you who it's not. It's not the ones who are trying to destroy the America that was built and the one that I know. Look at what they do. They keep watch over this. Maybe they're like the watchmen at Zion National Park, except they're situated on the other end looking down, whereas the watchmen at Zion are there at the beginning keeping watch of who comes and goes. So while I'm blabbering over here, I look up and I see some people walking with a dog. Let's see if it'll zoom in on them. Right there in the middle. See them moving? I'm hoping that they drive a black Tundra. They're about a mile away, and I'm maybe a mile away from the Land Cruiser. I'm going to head that way and wait and see if they drive by. It's 10 after 6, June 29th, 2026, American Basin, Colorado, outside Silverton. It's going to be a full moon tonight. It's called a strawberry moon. It's supposed to be low on the horizon. I'm wondering if these mountains will block it. But I've been here for a little while and I've watched the shadows creep up on the basin, and it's hidden this whole side right here. Kind of foreshadowing. Is there a shadow creeping across America now? Is it invading, conquering the light with darkness? I've got a friend from Mexico who's the same age as me, and he told me one time that we were in the afternoon of our lives. I was hoping he meant like 1 p.m. and not 5:30. But I wonder sometimes, with the 250-year anniversary of the founding of our nation, is it in the afternoon also? And is the darkness invading and conquering the light? I think many folks that are 50 years old and older remember in America where there was a lot less government involved in our lives, a lot less surveillance, a lot more freedom. An America that didn't allow people with different beliefs about freedom to come into our country. And since then, we've had an open door policy for people who do not share our values about freedom. And they represent that shadow creeping in on America. Why do I say this? I don't know. I'm in American Basin right now. It's a beautiful place. It has been a beautiful place. But will it always be? It's 6:15. Shadows are moving quick. I guess we're gonna call this home. Wind's whipping down through here. I just need that stove to work for about 30 minutes. I'll check in with you later. And what do you know? Look who's coming down the mountain. My camp spot. As soon as I eat dinner, I'm rolling up there. Woohoo! Thank you, Lord. So I gotta show you this cooking setup. You know, this is where I sleep right here, and this is all the kitchen stuff. It usually sits outside. But the wind's been blowing like 30 miles an hour, gusting to 30, probably more or less 10 to 15. So I just set up the stove here on top of one of the coolers, leveled it up halfway decent, and it was out of the wind just enough to get it out. And as you can see tonight, we got bratwurst with no buns and jalapeno smoked ham hock pinto beans. And these are ready right now. I'm about to turn the stove off on that and eat them, and then I'll eat the bratwurst. Now the cool thing is since Mountain Girls left, I said hey to her. There's only that green Bronco up there, and so when they leave, I'm going to wash all my dishes up down here, and that way I don't have any food stuff around camp. Then I'm going to ease back up there and snag that spot. Oh no, there's somebody coming up. Oh boy, I hope they don't have camping gear. Well, 7:15, and I think I lost my camping spot. So I've pretty much got everything ready here. Only thing outside is this bear-proof cooler and basically the chuck wagon, camp, kitchen, whatever, and my toolbox, and obviously the water. So I'll get my boots off and crawl in bed here in a little bit. You can see how much the shadows have come across the whole basin. I think it's going to be a pretty epic night. Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be cold though. So 11,500 feet. This guy on the motorcycle right here, he just I don't know if he wiped out or what, but they stopped and helped him earlier, and not sure what's going on. But anyway, that Toyota with the camper top and that side-by-side, they went up there, and I'm pretty sure they snagged that spot. I'm not about to move though and give up this one. You hear that water? Also got a little waterfall right across the way. Zoom in right there. It still makes a noise. Got the windows cracked. Looking forward to it. Well, it's about 7:30 and I'm all bunked down for the night. Wind's still blowing pretty hard. Got the windows cracked so we don't have any condensation build up. If you're wondering how in the world are you staying warm with no heat? Well, last night I camped at 10.5 and I had the cushion across the floor of the Land Cruiser, and then I put a piece of foam over that, put my sleeping bag on top of those two pieces, and then I have another sleeping bag, just one that quit zipping up, it broke, and I have it laying across the top of me. And I actually got hot last night and had to take the the extra sleeping bag off. So I don't think it's going to be a problem.